Good evening, and welcome to the Abington Conservation Meeting this evening, Monday, January 22nd. And before us, with all business, we have a continuation of a hearing, file number 844517, notice of intent, 236 Walnut Street. Sean Walsh and Jennifer Pushkin to remove an existing house and construct a new single-family home within the 100-foot buffer of borderland vegetation wetlands. John, you're up already. I'm reading.
Right. I think we can make this fairly quick. We were here 2 weeks ago for this project. As it stated, actually it's Mr. and Mrs. Walsh now, but they are hoping to remove the existing house that's shown on the plan, number 236. It's a non-conforming house. It's been there for a while. What they want to do is remove that house and construct a single-family dwelling as shown on the plan. We were here 2 weeks ago and went over everything. Everything is to be done within the buffer zone. There won't be any working within any wetlands on the site. We are within 100 feet of the site, hence we are here for an order of conditions. The only question I think came up was that because of the timing, we had bad timing. We had the snowstorm hit us and no one was able to go out and look at the wetlands line. And since then, I talked to my maker and I asked him to clear all the snow out of the way, and he answered my prayers. So we're hopefully all set with a viewing of the wetlands line, and we can go forward.
I'm okay with it.
You're all right?
Yeah.
You're all right?
Did anybody else go? Or?
I did.
Yeah, you did. You were okay?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Did someone want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Not a problem, no problem. Like I said, I made it as quick as I could.
Great job.
Good
That's
saying
the
that.
fastest you've ever been here.
Absolutely. You
Thank
enjoy
you.
your evening.
Sounds good.
You too.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, up next is the new business, notice of intent filed by James Rourke to construct a 5-lot subdivision on south side of McHugh Circuit to include work in the buffer zone in the crossing border, continuing border vegetation wetlands. James?
Good evening, Jeff Tallman from SciTech Engineering. Since he's the engineer and has the expertise, I will give him my floor in minutes, moments, whatever. Do you need a copy of
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening, my name is Jeff Bowles from SciTech Engineering. What I can do is quickly go over the plan we're here before you tonight with. Just to kind of give you a little background with the project, some of you talking earlier. Some of you are familiar with the site, some of you aren't. The modification to Eagle Estates, first of all, the subdivision is located off of Crabtree Lane in this area here. On some of the sheets within the subdivision, they have a whole map here. So if you come in from Crabtree, right before you get to where the back-to-back circles, I think you can have Crabtree and Shaw, if I'm not mistaken, in that area, you would take a right to go down into McHugh. There are 5 existing dwellings. Well, I'll show you what I'm doing, but these lots here are all been built on within this development. The area was developed back in, I want to say it was around 2000 when the initial subdivision was done for Eagle Estates. At that point, after the initial permitting was done, this piece of property was incorporated into, there was a larger subdivision in this area called Dudley Settlement. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. Anybody that was on the commission back then would be. At that time, that incorporated some of the property going to the east of this location. It's a larger development with a throughway going back out to Grants and then a cul-de-sac up in here and incorporated again, property to the east. For whatever reason, that development was permitted, but it was never constructed at that time. So while that was being worked out, we had come in 2003, 2004, I believe it was, for a modification to the original Eagle Estate subdivision, which created the lots as you see them now. And it left this large parcel that we're before you tonight with, right in this location here. So to fast forward to today, what we have is the wetland line that we're showing on the plan has been approved by the commission. It was approved back in August of 2015, so therefore it is still valid, to be valid until August of this year. We did have an initial line when we were doing the Dudley settlement project back in 03, 04. I do remember it was rather difficult to get that line established. It was kind of a lengthy INRAD process. But obviously, since that initial development, that line expired, and we have gotten this line that we're showing on this plan approved, and it was, you know, again, part of that ORAD from 2015. The roadway design is similar to what we had with the initial subdivision. We do have a crossing in the same location as what we had shown previously. It's just the road is a little bit shorter. The road used to go onto the abutting property. Now the plan is to bring the road in, bend it this way here, and to create 4 new lots on the south side of the wetland crossing, and then with the 1 additional lot up on the north side. There is an existing detention basin located in this area here that was part of the modification to Eagle Estates back in 03, 04. So what we're proposing to do for the drainage is come in, do a open bottom box culvert, 15 feet wide, about 2 feet high, in this location here to get over the wetland, and to come down and put in the cul-de-sac in this location with a detention basin, which would basically handle the drainage from the south side of the crossing, with a couple of set of catch basins, a drain manhole, and an outlet into the basin, which does have a 4-bay on it. Detention basin in this location, with an outlet going into the back. In order to handle the additional drainage on the north side, we are proposing to place 3 catch basins, 3 new catch basins up at that intersection here with a stormwater, drainage manhole in this location, which would discharge into a storm scepter unit, which would treat that runoff for sediment removal before it's discharged at an outlet in this location, and then eventually into the well. The design, the drainage design is pretty basic. Yeah, the only pretreatment we have on the north side is that storm scepter, which would achieve the 80% TSS removal as required by the stormwater management standards. On the south side, we have a set of catch basins, drain manhole, out into a detention basin with a 4-bay, and then out into the wetland allocation. The plan that's before you tonight has been before the planning board. As you can see, there's a revision date of 12/29/17 on this plan, based on comments from Northern Engineering, their initial review for the planning board, which they did incorporate the stormwater management standards in their analysis of the project. So we have made some revisions, to address some of the comments. I mean, some of them were stormwater water related, other ones were more specific to planning board regulations. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Again, the crossing that we have in this location, we're looking at, there's 2,125 square feet of wetlands to be altered. We are proposing a replication area at the rear in this location at this point, which would be just over a 1-to-1 ratio. The replication area is 2,440 square feet. That's a basic overview of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission might have.
Any questions from board members?
Yeah, the first question I have is, don't we normally ask for a 2-to-1 on replication?
It's actually in our bylaw.
we need
Two to
a,
one is required, I think, out of the Abington bylaw.
Yeah.
And I guess that goes to my question of, is this a limited project, because it's a roadway to cross the wetlands? Why, I think you just put it in as fill-in wetlands, is it supposed to be a limited listed as a limited project?
Yes.
I didn't,
Did
I'm having
you-
trouble hearing you.
I asked him if it was a limited project, you know, if it's just when you have a roadway going, replacing a wetlands, it's usually called a limited project,
Okay.
which is another reason,
He
even if
does
we
have,
didn't have the bylaw,
he does have down here, he's gonna fill in 2125 of,
bordering vegetated
well,
wetland.
yeah.
But I was just asking him if it was considered a limited project under the regulations.
didn't bring my hearing aids.
All right, I'll try to really talk loud. So, yeah, I think, the other thing is, I don't think I saw a replication plan in the file, so we are gonna need that as well.
Sure, yes.
The ANRAD that we did, or the ORAD, whatever you
Yes.
called it, Nancy, can we pull that out, the ORAD? Do we have it, that he's talking about? Yeah, can we pull it out, just, we should probably take a look at it, because I think you said that you've got 3 years on it. What date was it?
It was issued on August.
Oh, so you got some time.
Yeah.
Super.
I got the-
2015,
That's what I thought it said.
yeah.
Yeah, it was 2015. It was recorded at the Registry of Deeds, I know, in October of 2015, but the
Cool.
date of issuance is August.
You got some time on it then, that's good.
Yes.
I was worried about the date.
No, but I mean, we have quite a bit of time on that. Let's see, it's recorded, I know it's recorded in book 46136, page 243, at the Registry of Deeds.
Yeah, we can-
Issued on August 4th,
Yeah,
2015.
Nancy usually keeps some pretty good files,
Yeah.
so we should be able to dig it out.
Do you want it now?
I don't know. Why don't you stay for a few minutes I just thought it would be a good thing for us to look at. Maybe you should. Yeah, can you get it that fast? You want me to go get it? Okay. I had a question about, the original development on the Q Circle. Was there a detention basin or something that went with it, or?
Yes.
That, there's, where is that, just for
Well, we
reference
have,
purposes?
this was it was, well, I mean, there were a couple of developments. You had the initial Eagle Estates development, and then the modification which called for this detention basin. So this detention basin, because really the modification was just gonna be a cul-de-sac to be located, a temporary cul-de-sac down here until any future development went forward. There's no development on this portion, this was one big lot. So really let's see, the turnaround, once that's eliminated,
On the drainage easement,
yes.
what happens to it when it comes on the other side of McHugh Circle? It comes down to, will be the new part of, I guess, McHugh Circle right here?
Yes.
Where does the water go?
It then goes into the drainage system and then out into this detention basin. Now that,
No, see that, but here's the easement. Well,
yeah.
okay, you have an existing, okay. You have an
So-
existing,
So the existing, I guess, we're trying to understand how the existing detention basin works.
I'm over here.
You're over here.
This is the water, I'm wondering where it's
Right,
going.
see, I think there's a line here, right? Is that it?
Yes.
And the line, so the water from over here comes from that line and goes into this line here, into the basin? Am I reading that right?
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. Am
It
I,
looks like it goes right into the proposed driveway. That's,
yeah, is the,
Oh, that's underground,
It's
right?
That's
underground.
underground.
okay.
but I guess my question too is, how does this outlet is gonna go here? How does this look? I mean, is this the road this looks like the overflow was intended to go that way.
No.
Am I reading it wrong?
All right, so what you're looking at here, this detention basin's already constructed,
Correct.
and it was part of the previous approval.
That's
the
my,
modification.
I'm right
Yes.
here.
Yes,
Okay, so that's my question is, this has already been approved by the planning
Correct.
board?
all
That's all,
all this, basically anything on this side, on the north side of the wetland,
right,
is approved.
okay.
Other than, obviously, the road.
The road's
Now,
right there though, so that's,
when we did that modification, we knew something like this was gonna be coming down the road, because it was incorporated into that Dudley settlement subdivision, that there was gonna be a crossing and a roadway coming through here. So This, see, it's, I know it's difficult to understand because this was done basically in 3 different phases. You had the initial subdivision where these easements come from.
My biggest thing is, making sure that there's no water runs, even though that it's a proposed dwelling and so forth. The biggest thing that we have to be aware of is that all the water that's existing and so forth, right here in this drainage easement, all right, does not flow into these houses.
That's all piped. This
That's
is all
all piped.
underground, it's all piped.
Okay,
There's no swales.
But
or
it goes
anything
into
like
the big basin.
that. It goes into this
It
detention.
Okay.
slows it down,
yeah.
and what I'm also asking him is, you've asked about going, when it gets there, I'm asking about what happens when it goes out. How does it flow out and where does it go? What's,
There's
is
Oh,
it, there's, cause there's an
There's an
overflow there.
existing outlet right here that goes under where the proposed road is, in this location right here.
And what's over there? It goes into the wetland over there?
Yes.
So that's the,
There's another outlet here.
so what happens when it tops over? Where does it go if it tops over?
This is just an emergency spillway. what you're
Yes,
looking at
where
here,
does the emergency spillway go?
Into the well.
Okay, that was what I was asking. So
I
now.
thought it was coming this way anyways.
Yeah, I
don't
did
know
too.
about
I
that.
didn't,
Okay.
so this drains typically, what elevation is that at? Do you know, can you tell from here? Existing outlet.
it's at 162
Hundred and sixty-two. And this goes
On
up to
the
165.
east side. That would be the east side, correct? If I'm-
The
if I'm-
spillway is about elevation 164. The top of the freeboard for that basin is 165.
But the.
This is all existing here in this pipe and this, right?
Yeah. This, what you're looking at here, is where the initial spillway was supposed to be. When we did an as-built of that basin, basically, we're just showing these proposed contours just to kind of clean it up, because it's a little rough around this edge here. The existing outlet structure is already in. That's in place, that's
Yeah,
functioning,
I'm just trying
because
to,
this detention basin is serving, what you have a roadway that comes down from McHugh into here, and you see what's shaded, it's kind of tough to differentiate, but this whole area right now, that's all paved. And then you have houses.
That's already
See
paved.
here?
Yeah, it's paved
but this
here
dwelling,
and
Oh.
here, that's a proposed dwelling, this is an existing dwelling.
this one's new, and
Yes.
most of this
Oh.
roadway is new.
So
But
right
it's-
here,
it's-
just
it does show paved
To
on
clear
the
this up,
Yes.
starting in,
map.
this is paved in front of this proposed dwelling?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So this has basically been approved, not basically, but has been approved by the planning board as far as
Correct.
the drainage and as far as the water, stormwater management and so forth
For the
in
existing.
here? Yes, for the existing.
For the work that's been done, correct.
Yes, okay, all right, I've never seen them before, that's why I'm just asking the question,
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little complicated because of the number of revisions that were made on this. So basically, the new section, the new proposal is to cross the wetland and develop the back piece. We are showing a proposed dwelling over the front. That's not covered under this notice of intent. We're simply looking for the roadway construction and drainage. The individual lots will be permitted separately
Oh, okay,
through the commission.
so you just wanna build, you're here to build the roadway?
Correct.
Build the road and all the drainage will be.
All the
and
drainage.
Drainage
and the
infrastructure.
replication.
Correct.
And then they'll come, when they put the house in, for each house will.
Yeah, once we
But
have the
we
house
always do
designs
with the
that are gonna go on the lots, we'll be
When-
back with.
How far along are you with the planning board as far as this new development?
We're meeting with them again on, this coming Monday night.
Okay,
We did file a preliminary plan that was approved by them. We have met with them once on a definitive. We've gone through a round of revisions with their consultant engineer. I haven't heard back yet it's Dave Johnson of Norwood Engineering. But I have spoke to him, and he seems to be kind of on board with all the changes. I haven't received any comments, comment letter back from him yet at this
Okay.
point, but, I don't anticipate any issues, engineering wise.
okay.
In terms of the drainage and stuff like that, so.
So, as far as the new drainage,
Yes,
the first question I have is, how did you decide what size pipe, or box to put under the roadway? How did you come up with that?
it's in the drainage report, we did an
Which
analysis of it.
I just got tonight, so.
Sure. Well, basically, this design of the crossing and everything stems back to the original W settlement.
But, you know, for me,
I get
for me,
that.
I don't
get
care,
that.
I wanna know what you
Right.
did.
No, but, so
Yeah.
we took that design that we had, you know, back then, we incorporated it into this plan, because nothing really has changed in terms of the crossing. And, you know, it's simply, it's a 15-foot by 2-foot open box culvert. We performed an analysis on it. The analysis of the culvert is within the drainage calcs, and it clearly shows that the culvert is adequate for the anticipated flow of water for a 100-year storm in this.
And there is a flow of water through here that you're expecting?
Well, I mean,
I don't know, I haven't seen the property, is there?
yeah,
There's
I mean,
not a stream
there's no
there.
channel, there's,
Is it
no.
just a marsh, or is it marshy?
It's
there?
just a bordering vegetated wetland, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But potentially, you know, during a heavy rain event, you could get some flow coming through here, so, you know, obviously we're gonna design for worst-case scenarios.
So
that
it's,
type of thing.
you said it's
But
24 inches? I'm sorry, I missed
Height.
it. Height, and how wide?
15 feet,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
The
It's certainly more than
opening-
that,
Sorry, I didn't catch the 15 feet part.
yes.
The opening is 15 feet or the length?
The width, and it's a couple of feet high,
But,
That's a big opening.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
that
it
should work.
is.
That,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't catch that on the
No,
plan, so.
that's no problem.
So could you, so when you're doing the drainage calculation in here,
Yes.
when I'm looking at it, you know, we're always worried that you're not having more drainage in a 100-year storm. When you do the calculation, does it include both this discharge and this discharge?
Correct, correct.
And is there's, I haven't read it, did they include this one over here too?
Yes.
So it's a 3-point. So when I look at this and see that at the 100-year storm, you have 34 cubic feet per second, you know, runoff before, and then 30, that includes everything that's draining
Yeah.
in there?
So basically, we took the property line here
Yeah.
on the east side at this wetland, because everything kind of connected, everything comes together at that point. So that was our design point. That's where we performed all our analysis on this location. So basically, anything that's going on up here, anything that we're having any impact or changes to is incorporated into the new stormwater report. Or it's incorporated into the original one, but we have made some additions to it based on comments back from the planning board consultant. So, yeah, we did take into consideration everything that's going on up here and what's, you know, what's coming through the wetland, what's coming through the pipe
Various discharges, so
system.
you've looked at all of them as a whole, okay, and
Correct.
without, I don't think anybody's looked at it yet, so, flips of planning. Nancy, I think, brought us the, did you find it? Oh, it's very good, Nancy, thank you.
Careful with my paycheck.
What?
Careful with my paycheck.
It feels like it. This is it. This is like it. So this is from before. And this looks pretty, you've taken the same flags, right,
Correct,
from all of it?
yes.
And there's where the proposed house is going. There's that drainage easement. And there's that outlet that we were talking about.
Right.
And then Mike's questions about the inlets are they on here? I must see them, right there. Storm scepter going over. So that goes in. It's a clearer picture. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
And that got signed on the 15th. I didn't see it.
August 26th.
Yeah, so Mike, Joe, oh,
Russ.
Jerry, Russ, and Jim all must have gone to see it. And that's 8/26, so it's still in, we've approved the wetlands line already,
Right.
so we're good.
Yes. That I know, the only thing I'd like, well, my only concern would be come back with the replication.
Sure, yes.
That would be, besides that, I don't see much other.
The only other thing is, that planning's still,
Yeah, you know what, if it's possible, I mean, this is just what, I'm just saying, if you could come back after the planning, so that we know that the engineer has looked at everything, and if you just do the replication, I don't see a problem if the planning board approves it.
I think it's very helpful for us, rather.
Unfortunately, the planning board has a regulation, at least there was a comment in the consultant's letter, that the planning board won't act until conservation.
Okay.
approves it.
Huh? No.
That's
We used to be
usually,
the last
yeah.
one.
and I'll tell you why, because they have the,
Go on.
they have the engineer and the, you know, the professional
Right,
to approve all the water, stormwater drainage and so forth. We just wanna make sure that there's
Or
not
if
gonna be
you-
an input into the
Right.
the wetlands. And the only thing that, me personally, I have a problem with is the the replication.
no, obviously, I mean, ideally, what we do is to get a clean letter back from their consultant and provide the 2-to-1 replication with a planting plan for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if we had that clean letter,
We'd be
then we
good.
could get, yeah, if you
If
could.
you get a letter, we get a letter from their engineer
Okay.
saying that they've reviewed it, unless we have some questions, you know, in the meantime, but we'll let you know. I'll take a look at the engineering, at the report, but certainly if we have the professional doing it, they're gonna cover all the bases.
Okay.
Who do they have, reviewing it from the planning board?
Norwood Engineering, Dave Johnson from Norwood Engineering.
Okay.
I know this, oh, right here. Applicant should clarify if Conservation Commission approval has been obtained. Section 2000-15B of the board's regulations require approval from Conservation before a planning board acts. So they were citing a regulation, now whether or not they.
Yeah, but see, what I'm saying is that
It's
we
kind of a
can't,
catch-22.
right, but we can't approve without seeing the replication, but you're
Right.
gonna be there Monday, so
I
everything will
don't
work.
anticipate that they're gonna act on it Monday night.
Okay, but we meet every 2 weeks, so
Right.
it's easy for you to come back to see us in 2
No,
weeks.
correct. So if next time we come back, and we bring a clean letter from their consultant saying that, you know, all the issues, specifically drainage issues, stormwater issues have been resolved, and obviously we're gonna have to show the 2-to-1 replication with the planting plan,
Yeah,
Right.
then we could get an order of conditions.
Correct, and
I
that gives you
think
the
so.
opportunity to give us a revised set of plans
Oh,
if
absolutely.
planning
Yeah.
moves
Yeah.
anything on
Right.
it.
Yes, yeah,
yeah, I think so.
okay.
Mhm.
I would've, and I did, I was aware of that regulation.
Anyway.
Yeah, and we need the DEP
We need a
number
DEP
as well.
number also?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need DEP number.
Okay.
We can't vote on it until we have it,
Right,
just,
correct.
just so you don't have to keep coming back.
No, I anticipate that would be issued because we did kind of file it last minute to get on the agenda for this meeting. We did want to come in before we went to the planning board, but DEP, I mean, it was probably a good 10, almost 2 weeks ago, I guess, when we filed it. So they should be issuing a file number anytime. I don't anticipate it'd be a problem getting that
Usually it
before
just
the next
takes a
meeting.
couple extra
No.
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Are we in agreement that if the letter comes through, the DEP number and the replication,
Mhm.
that everything, just so there's no question, that everything would look good?
If
Yeah.
everything looks good.
Yeah, okay.
I don't need.
We can't take a
any more.
vote tonight.
No,
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't.
and there's a couple of
Expect
members
it.
that aren't here, but, you
Sure.
know, I think in general,
Yeah,
you know, it
And
looks
I might,
okay.
you know, maybe someone's like go walk it or something in the meantime, see what's going on.
Yeah, well, we probably need to ask the public once they
Very
have a
good.
chance
Wear your
before we
boots.
close this.
Huh?
wear your boots.
Yeah,
You wanna open up to the?
Yeah, anyone here on the floor would like to say something? Sir?
My name is Butkus from 33 Grants Place. I'm just, you know, I just couldn't see, from you. I couldn't go through you when you were making the presentation. Where is Grants Place in regards to it's up there? And where is the road gonna be?
This is the proposed road. This is where the Q circle comes down and does this with the pavement. This line here is the end of the existing pavement. So it comes down and it's like a hammerhead turn around right now.
And Grants Place is up there in the left-hand corner.
Yeah, this is actually number 33.
33,
This is-
correct.
Yeah, that's the dwelling there.
And is that a building going up to the left of that, or is that a lot to the left?
Yeah,
No,
right
that's the
here.
locust plan, up top, that's the
Okay.
locust plan.
No, no, no. No, all the proposed work is, well, this lot was part of this initial subdivision, but it's part of this as well. And then you have 4 new dwellings on the south side of the wetland, close to the track and the fields over here at high school project.
Okay, I see, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Sir, would you like to say something? Kevin?
I'm Kevin Blakeman, and I own the property on the other side of all that right in here. And I will say I've been trying to come to an agreement with Jim for a while, and I'd like to think that in theory we have, but unfortunately,
Do you have anything for the wetlands?
huh?
Do you have anything for the wetlands?
Well, I'm just concerned, I wanna support what Jim wants to do as long as it doesn't adversely affect me. And he has an interest in buying my property and if we can work it out, but.
Well, no, we're here for the wetlands tonight, and what they're
Well, I don't
proposing.
want, I just am concerned, I'm mainly here to observe for tonight.
Yeah,
I was just-
well, you're a butter, you have a right to
I'm
be
a
here.
butter, and I
You have a
would
right to
like
be
very
here.
much to have this project get approved and get on the way, and I'd like very much to
And
have
we've already
together-
we've already told them what things have to be done between the planning board and the, from the DEP number and stuff like that. And that's what they're presenting to us.
But do you have any specific questions for us or for the applicant about the wetlands?
I guess I have a question about the blacktop that runs onto my property right here. I don't know if that's out of bounds of this.
No, we're just talking about the wetlands.
Well,
The
is that
water
already,
runs
is
down
that
that
existing?
road and it kind of dead ends and it dumps onto my property, so that's
Well,
where the
well, all right,
wetlands-
then maybe address it to the engineer, and he can look into it for us and come back
Yeah,
and say something.
Okay, I wanna be supportive of Jim's project.
This
Yeah,
is existing
well,
here.
we understand that, but like I said, we're here for the
Nancy
wetlands.
has that folder, I don't know.
And
if it's-
we've just,
No.
Whatever it was,
those are
you
new.
know, it just.
It's for this.
That may alleviate his problem. if they-
Yeah, let him answer.
Well, I mean, this is an issue that we have discussed before the planning board at the preliminary stage about the pavement. You know, certainly, there are gonna be 3 catch basins that are put in at that intersection that's gonna collect the stormwater
So-
and basically stop it from going down onto your property in that location. Once this gets approved and constructed, that should alleviate that drainage problem.
there you go.
I have, only because I don't know the area, the question by Mr. Blakeman, okay, this dotted line, is that an extension of a road, McHugh Circle?
That's an easement.
That's an easement,
Yeah,
okay,
there's a sewer line that comes down through here,
okay.
and I
There's a
believe
sewer,
water-
there's a sewer and water line
Yeah.
that run from
Grant's Place?
Grant's Place up to through here, yes.
So
And
there's
is that
no-
on your land,
Yes,
that easement?
yes.
Okay, that's my question.
And there's no roadway at this point
No.
that connects Grant's Place to
No.
McHugh Circle?
No, it's just roughed in, I guess what would you call grub, it was grubbed out and,
Right.
you know, whatever, when they put the pipes in with the intention of.
But that's not gonna be a proposed road to continue to Grants? No.
Not under this application.
Okay,
If anything were to happen, that would have to be a separate
Okay,
application.
no, I
It would
just-
be back
just-
before you.
I'm just looking at it with his, question and so forth, that's all.
Yeah. No, getting back to that, the initial subdivision that was going in this whole piece, that's where the road was gonna go. and
Okay.
That was gonna be extended.
All right, that's
You know, that's still not out of the question at this point, but we're moving forward.
nothing to do with tonight.
Nothing, no. That would be a separate application. We'd have to come back with a separate application for that.
Take care of your concerns about the water further up, with the drain, those catch basins are going in? So- All right?
To the best of my knowledge, although I guess I would have to have, I'm not an expert, so I don't really know if.
Well, he answered your question by saying that they were gonna put catch basins in, and it should alleviate the water from going down to your property. And the catch
Where does
basins
it
going,
go
they're
from
not in
there?
here.
My property is downhill from there, so it seems like water runs down onto it eventually.
Well, it goes into the wetland. I mean, you can't prevent the water from running from, one property to the other, as long as it's directed into a wetland.
I'm not here to, I just really wanted to come and observe and I really don't want to come.
All right, then,
I'm just trying to learn.
well, we'll bring it back to the board then. You all set? Okay, very good, back to the board. Someone wanna make a motion, do we continue the,
When would you like to continue this to? Do you want it to do it this second planning board meeting?
Well, we're meeting with them on Monday night. Where would you meet again, in 2 weeks?
We meet every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we can put you on the agenda, we can always push you off if you
Yeah,
don't have the
why
letter.
don't we plan on that? Because, I mean, I know on my end, it's no problem to get a revised plan, with the application area and the planting plan. In terms of getting a letter from Norwood Engineering, I don't know on that, but I'd like to keep it every 2 weeks, and then if we don't have that in time, we can certainly.
February 12th would be our
ask for a
next meeting.
continuance. Sure, perfect.
Make a
Okay.
And
motion.
then you can just contact Nancy if you don't have everything, including the DEP number, so you don't have to keep coming back.
Yeah, I would imagine we'd have that within a
Yeah.
couple of days this week
Yeah.
sometime, so, yeah.
But if you're not ready, just write her and tell her that you're
Sure.
asking for a continuance to the next
So the
meeting.
planning board meeting is gonna be in January?
No, I believe actually, you know what, it's the following Monday, it's not the 29th, it's 2
February
weeks from
5th.
tonight.
It's
The 5th.
usually the first Monday,
Yes.
yeah, okay, I just wanted
The
to know.
5th, I'm sorry.
That's fine. So I need a motion to continue the hearing to February 12th.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, thank you, Pete.
Thank you. That's interesting.
It might be easier, another way to get through is kind of all downhill, if you will. If you go to the far end of the track, walk to the far end of the track, there's a stake in the ground there. You go up from the end of the track, there's a stone wall, 20 feet. And then you're on the land, and then you can actually see the stone walls. You
Oh, all
can
right.
actually see the stone walls, but it's all downhill and
Yes.
drier.
Okay, who's saying it?
Great.
Okay, they're gonna put it-
Okay, next is discussions of the CPA. Kathy?
Oh, geez. I think Nancy included the list of potential, what, from our open space, plan. We had a list of things that we might wanna do, it's in your package. And, I think what we wanted to do was talk through it, and, I thought that maybe we could get, OCPC. Nancy, I'm sorry, you just made me realize that I had forgotten to call Rick back. You told me to call Rick.
Yeah.
I saw it today and I just didn't have time. Rick, I was suggesting that maybe we have OCPC help us, like, downsize the list to figure out what we might wanna do for a job, a project. And I thought OCPC might be able to help us figure out, one, maybe what we should focus on, but also maybe help us with the funding thing, because maybe, it depends on what we wanna do. There might be grants out there to help us as well as the CPA. So, I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at the list.
He has some land up by the high school and stuff that he's hoping to have the CPA look at it. He
Oh, really?
talked to Kelly the other day,
Yes,
right?
I do, well, yeah,
Go ahead,
I spoke to you.
Nancy's our
when-
rep.
When I got a call from Kelly, and I
Yeah.
went to
Who's Kelly?
her office and spoke with her.
Who's Kelly?
Kelly was your administrator?
The secretary.
Secretary, CPA.
Kelly
Oh,
Johnson.
CPA, oh, okay, yeah,
CPA.
oh, yeah, CPA, oh, yeah, oh, cool.
So I went over.
Sorry,
and-
I'm
and-
not
and I-
connected
And I
with
met
those.
with her, and I will say, I've also met, talked with, I don't know how many people in town, anybody I possibly can. I called superintendent at one time. Sean Riley, was gonna, he kind of, I don't know if he initiated that a little bit. Anyway, here's my property, and I've talked to a number of the neighbors, not a lot of them basically use my property. They like it the way it is and not being developed, I'm sure. There's a trail that goes from Berry Road to here. Somebody built a bridge, and I was there the other day and it looked like had shifted. It was just a little footbridge that somebody built so that they're,
For the kids from the development can go across the stream and up to this high school. It's like some kids or parents got together and built it, but he's he has some land that, wanna know if the CPA would be interested in buying it. He's already Rick has said that, Franz told you that the town itself is not interested. How did you
they
say
don't
you
have
put
any
it?
money, they didn't have any money.
Oh, okay.
but
So
we
how
never
much
have money.
land are you talking about,
Well,
and
I own-
is it your whole property, is it a piece of the property, and?
Well, I inherited this, my father bought this when he was 18 years old in the 1942. He was 18, then he joined the Air Force and went World War II, and when he came back, his life was a mess for a while. So he didn't build the house that he was probably planning on, and then he just kept paying taxes on the property. I told him he should sell it, but he didn't. He died, left it to my brother and I, and my brother died, and now I have it, and I don't live around here. I drove down from Vermont tonight, and I've been coming down here. So this is your new football field right here. It's about 50 feet from the football field to my property. The new school, I'd say, is like 150 feet.
Wow.
And I just would like to get,
Have you had it evaluated by a realtor?
yeah, I've had a number of real estate agents look at it, and we did have it under agreement with somebody a while ago, this Dudley Development, and I think that, I'm not honestly sure what happened. I think that the developer didn't have the money to finalize it. He was working on a shoestring. I heard that he had owed $75,000 in engineering costs, and he was supposed to buy this piece of property and didn't have the funds to do that, so the whole thing went south. And also this
So
piece of
you
land.
own all this property here?
I don't own this one. I own this one, and this one.
Who
So-
owns
so
that one?
Who owns this one?
It's the estate of John and Frankie Bond, I guess. I've been talking with somebody named Dorothy French Boone, who's in Virginia, who's never been to the property.
But they pay taxes on it
Yeah.
still?
So
Wow.
do they pay taxes as, some of it, like forested land, or do you pay taxes full residential?
No, they pay plenty of taxes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's different categories, like there was woods behind Vineyard Road, that goes down toward, and that was listed as like, I forgot what they call it, there was a category for it, it's
Maybe
like forested land.
maybe I've made a mistake, but I wanted to sell the property, so it was kind of hard for me to go in and say, I want you to lower the value of my property and then try to sell it for
Understand.
more than I'm asking.
So how much
The ta-
acreage is there, do you know?
There's about 15 acres. Each lot is right around 5 acres apiece.
So
within
each colored segment is 5 acres?
This is 5 acres. This is, like, one's 5.1, one's 4.7 or something like that. But I can just say they're all about 5 acres.
And are they, there is wetlands on them, is there a lot
There
of
is.
wetlands?
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
stream
No,
goes right through.
Which
The stream, the water runs down through here. This is where Jim's property that we were talking about,
Uh-huh.
just a few minutes,
Oh,
you guys
so
were
that
talking about right
easement,
here.
so that water's gonna run right down the middle of it, okay.
So
Oh, okay, I get it
this
now.
is, well, we've been negotiating, I don't know how to, every time I try to bring something up, you're not involved with my negotiations, and you aren't, but I've been talking with Jim for way too long, and I have too many attorneys, and then my attorney would call his, and his attorney wouldn't respond, and now my attorney hasn't responded to me, and I'm just frustrated with all of that. But
So this,
I still think that we have an oral agreement, which doesn't really mean a squat, but when they sent me, they talk about something and then they send it to me, and then there's some detail in it that I wasn't happy with, so I sent it back, and it's.
so what are you looking to do? Are you looking for the town to find out if they wanna buy it?
Be happy to sell it to the town, or if there was some way we could.
How much are you looking for? And are you willing to sell pieces? Because I'm not sure that there's,
Well, this is the whole thing, the town doesn't have probably that kind of money.
no, I'm.
See, we have, I wasn't here for the last one, but there's a bunch of proposed properties that are in front of the Conservation Commission right now that the selectmen would like us to look at to take over or purchase.
No, they were just wanted us to look at Diane Circle at the selectmen's meeting, but I don't think we ever got anything
There was
back.
something that came on the emails with a bunch
Yeah,
of
there's a
different
whole bunch of
properties
properties
on an email.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that the selectmen wanted us to look at and have back to them.
What? I didn't see
Wasn't
it.
that Dombrowski's list?
You know that email you sent to us not too long ago? Had a bunch of different properties on it?
No.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, and they wanted us to discuss it and so forth. I don't have it. I'm pretty sure I still have my emails.
I
but-
know there was something about Diane Circle that they were gonna try to sell off part of, on Diane Circle, and they were gonna, they
No,
wanted some of
they
the.
also wanted the Conservation Commission to take over certain properties. I don't know where the selectmen have them. I was actually gonna ask what you guys did, because I wasn't here the last two
I didn't
meetings.
see the email, I don't think any of us, Nancy doesn't know
All
what
right,
you're
we're
talking
gonna have to put
about.
that off till the next one.
Did
But
they
anyway,
just
to
send
make-
it to you, Mike?
To make a long,
The fact
Oh,
is,
I got it.
we've paid taxes on it for 75 years,
Mhm.
and when the town in the past has asked, do you mind,
I
the
would-
town has asked it, what was that?
I was gonna say, I can tell you just from talking to the assessors and so forth, they would prefer you not even to donate it to the town, because they'd rather have the tax money. To be very honest with you, that's the way they look at it, and for them to take it over, it'd have to be, I don't know what the process would be. And also, we don't have the money as far as the conservation or the town, I don't believe, to buy any of this land.
There is some CPA money, which is what I was talking about the last time we were here, but, we have to decide what we wanna do with it.
Well, yeah, wasn't that more appropriated toward doing
No,
Stuff.
it's also for buying property.
okay,
But I don't know that we have,
That
I
kind of
mean,
money.
this looks like big bucks to
Yeah.
me. I mean, it's,
Well, when the town, I just wanna say, when the town asked my dad, if you mind if can we put a 12-inch water line on my property, he said, sure, go ahead, if it's for the town's benefit, go ahead and do
Sure.
that. Then they asked him over here, do you mind, we're gonna be building Pinecrest Road, do you mind if we put a drainage onto your property? And he said, hey, if it's for the town and a road, then no problem. So we always was cooperative, and the town has since and back in the 50s, I guess, they paved Pinecrest Road, and the pavement goes all the way to my property, right to the edge of it. There's 2 manholes, or whatever you call them, catch basins at the end, catch basins, and then they dump into our property, and that's created wetlands. Probably, there was no such thing as wetland legislation when he authorized them to try to cooperate with the town and, just tell them they could do that. And he also, I'm sure, thought that this was gonna be Pinecrest Road. And I have maps that show it as future Pinecrest Road extension that were done by the town. The town has an easement on the last 40 feet of it for drainage, but they never accepted the last 40 feet, 70 feet, last 40 by 70 foot piece as an easement, and they did not accept the last 40 feet of the road, but they pave it and they plow it right to my property. I think if they plow the road, the snow goes onto my property. So that seems to me that was their intention, and that was my dad's intention when he granted them that easement. And when I first, I guess he thought 15 acres, 20 minutes from Boston was gonna be big money, but at this point, I just don't wanna own it. I'd like to get
My
fair price,
my
but I don't know
suggestion
whether-
would be, find out if you can get a realtor to market it and go that route, because I don't see us being able to do anything at this point.
it's a lot of acreage, so I assume it has a high dollar value with it, but I
The
don't
town
know.
has them assessed at about $60,000 or $70,000 a lot.
A lot?
$60,000-$70,000
That's not a lot
per.
of money.
No, that's not a lot
No,
of
that's
money.
not a lot of money at all.
Over 5 acres is a whack.
No, so
No.
that means it's unbuildable, I would say.
So that is,
Still paying like $3,000 a year, I think.
mhm.
Right, but for 5 acres, it should be closer like to 300,000, I would say. If it was at all buildable.
So,
But it could be, billed as forested land or whatever it is they do to keep it down.
I don't
But-
know.
I have
But
some
I don't
frontage,
know.
I have
Again,
some
I-
frontage
I-
on Berry Road.
I don't
would
I don't see it, I don't know what we can do as a board
Yeah.
to help you out. right now.
Unless we consider it as a proposal, but it won't be for a while, because it
Right.
won't be till,
If you-
CPA's already gone through its cycle, so we will have to wait a year to ask.
Right,
And
that's
we-
what,
but
that's
there
what I'm trying to,
there is money there, don't,
And
you know.
he was told that the other day by Kelly, that nothing, CPA can't do anything for
Right.
another year because it's
For
gotta
no-
go through the cycle.
Right, I mean, it's,
So in the
you would put the
meantime-
proposal, we would put proposals in the fall and decide,
Yeah.
but at this point, it's closed for this year. But, you know, we had $900 and some thousand that we could allocate, and we allocated about 500. And we're gonna get another probably 300 next year, so there's some money there.
right.
I can
And
see
it-
such a good benefit to the town in, I
But,
mean, you got a chance to have 10 to 15, 20 acres of land right next to the school. I allow people to come, to walk through here, and sometimes I think people, my attorneys have said, put a gate up and keep them out of there. I don't wanna do that.
yeah, and, you know, we understand, it's just,
And
I don't know that.
If I could get one lot anywhere, you know, a couple lots in here, it's at the end of Pinecrest Road, but we did go to land court and it was found that we just didn't prevail. I really think we should have, but what happened was somebody had bought the property at the end of Pinecrest Road one day, and on a different day, they bought the house at the end of Pinecrest Road, and then on a different day, they bought that 40 by 70, and the deed descriptions are 100% accurate as two lots. When they bought the little lot, they said that the buyer was buying land that abutted the buyer, or the grantee's land you abutted the land of the grantee.
Are you landlocked?
Yep,
Oh,
well,
okay,
Oh,
that
that
answers,
explains.
that answers all the questions, okay.
Well, I mean,
You're gonna have to buy a lot to get access to your lot.
that's why I'm coming to the,
I understand
To the
now, yeah.
board there,
Okay,
and-
you've answered that question, I just.
I have
at
frontage
this-
on
At this point, my suggestion would be to make a proposal to submit something to the CPA and tell them that might be interested, or you're interested in selling this land. I don't know what it'll be worth to the CPA, but it will be at least a year, but at least we can look at it as time goes on. But for right now, that's why you can't get anybody to buy it, you're locked.
so, you know, there is an option there that you can
Well, see,
donate.
there's an option for the town
Yeah,
to come through here, maybe to use it as something else.
right, no, I was gonna say, there's always the option, we do get donated land. You know, that is, you know, and you get a tax credit for it. If you donate it to, you can donate it to the town or to conservation, but that doesn't get you any money. But, as far as CPA, I think, you know, we're gonna need to decide what pieces of land if we're gonna go after
Yeah,
something.
we're working on some stuff this
We're
year, so there's
Yeah, well, I
nothing
don't know,
we're
with
gonna,
this, we can consider it,
you consider in further dates down the road.
right.
Okay, all
I've
right
been
then.
trying my darndest to get,
Okay.
you know, to have a conversation with anybody, and then I finally got a hold of, or Kelly got a hold of me, but it was, I don't know when the deadline, I guess I just missed it.
The deadline was, for submittal was in, November. But for everything, we had an initial
So-
submittal in October.
We gotta move on.
Mhm, all
Yeah,
right, all right, anything else? That's it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
We have to move on.
Hope
For
you
the
learned a
next
little
meeting,
bit
I'm gonna
tonight.
call OCPC, I'm gonna talk to Rick about the OCPC thing, and I'll get back to you, so if we could just leave it on the agenda.
Okay.
And
Thanks,
if
Kevin, for
everybody
coming
can take a
down.
look at the list,
Yep,
Good night.
appreciate it.
Good luck to you.
Good.
thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Yeah, keep it in mind.
Yep,
And, if Mike
see ya.
or Jim can find that email that you're talking about, that we're supposed to be doing something.
I'll bring it to the next meeting.
Yeah? Did you find it, Jim?
No, I thought I printed it out, I might have a hard copy. It was 2 months ago, wasn't it? It was a
It
list
was-
of all the properties.
I don't know, it was 2 months, well, it was at least, it was before 2 meetings ago, because I wasn't at the last 2 meetings. And I didn't know whether you guys discussed it or not.
And some of them, they wanted us to review it to see if we wanted.
Sorry, Nancy.
All right, we're gonna.
I have trouble remembering how to get home.
Pardon?
I have trouble remembering how to get home.
Any correspondence?
Oh. Oh,
Anything
Nancy,
on CPA left?
no, I just, let's talk about it next time.
All right.
And
Okay.
everybody take a look at the list, and I'll try to call OCPC to see if they could give us a hint. Nancy, you sent us something about MassDOT, and there was a file attached.
I couldn't get to whatever it was to look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Could you
Route
just
18
print
thing.
out, can you print like a table of contents or tell, like just the first
Is that the thing
paragraph?
you gave me?
I don't know what's in it.
This is it, and
Oh.
if you want a copy, I can
Let me
make
take a look,
copies
because
for
if it's
everyone.
just the very,
It's just that it's,
it's just, if it's the Weymouth
It said
stuff.
Weymouth on it, top side north.
Can I ask one more question I meant to ask earlier?
Go ahead.
I
That's on
talked
the,
to
Route
people from
18 stuff.
wetlands.
Oh, that's the one, this
Can't
one I
remember his
thought,
name right
yeah,
now,
this one,
about
I couldn't
yeah,
open the
limited
attachment.
access.
It wouldn't-
Open it.
I couldn't open
uh,
it, sorry, I thought you were talking about the property thing.
Limited access from Berry Road to get onto my property, so I would have, and that would be having to cross some wetlands or build a road driveway through the wetlands.
You'd have to get an engineer and get it all together and bring it to the board for our approval to do that.
Okay, I think the engineer from the state suggested I just talk to you guys, that's why I decided.
No, I don't think, we usually don't just say you can do this or
I
that.
don't
We'd
expect
like
you to
see a
say yes
plan.
tonight by any means.
Yeah,
How, so I would have to have an,
I would think, Michael, am I correct on that?
What's that?
To get on his property at Barry Road, he would want to do so. I said, you have to get an engineer to draw up some plans to
And
the
if
I
there's
was glad-
wetlands there?
wetlands and stuff.
Yeah.
there's wetlands there.
Yeah, you'd
But
have
it's
to.
dry, I would have to cross through the wetlands and then I would get to some good high dry land. And then if I just had one lot, or maybe I could sell that one lot, then I'd be in better position to donate the rest of
Yeah,
the,
what,
or, make a deal to the town.
you'd wanna get an engineer, cause he'd have to do a replication, on where you're gonna have to go through the wetlands. So you'd have to be able to replicate two to one for what you're gonna have to go through, and you're gonna have to talk to the, you would have to come in front of us, and then you'd have to also submit to the planning board the fact that you wanna extend the road.
Okay, it wouldn't be a road, it would be a driveway, but, and I have just,
So your address would be that road, is what you're saying?
So sort of what, the plan you saw tonight was, they crossed a wetland
Yeah.
and they had to do the replication. It would be just one lot, but that's the kind of thing that we would be expecting
are
to
you
see.
familiar with a limited access?
Limited project is what they call it, a limited
Yeah,
access.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you would definitely need, you're gonna need a botanist and an engineer to help you.
Oh, I know you need somebody for everything, there's no doubt about that.
It's just,
And
yeah,
I have just-
we're not professionals, we're all volunteers, so, it's not our,
I'm trying to make sense.
yeah, I
out of it
understand.
too, and I've been on my boards and stuff in my towns, but, okay, and I have just hired what seems like a good engineer
Good,
as opposed to the other one that I had. Okay.
okay, good
Thanks,
luck.
Alright.
Thanks again.
Hopefully we'll see you again. Nancy, I don't have a copy of this.
no.
Yeah, this is all about the they took different pieces of wetlands throughout the Route 18 project, and they're putting a big replication area on, the Weymouth Air Base. So this is just changes to that permit.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's a big variance
It's
thing.
correspondence.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it.
Oh, anything good?
You want to do the, what do you call it?
Oh, sure. All right.
Yeah, Why we're doing
I'm gonna
this?
put my head. A1, 25 feet, all the rest to A. B1, B2. There's no stormwater going on here.
No parking lot, no catch basins.
B7. There's no replication. No wildlife habitat on site conditions. G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, 25 feet, G6, G7, H2, H4, H5, H6, H7, H8, H9, I1, I2, A, B, C, D, E, E. And I'd skip F, because we already take, oh, say F,
Pardon?
F. And
Taking the
that's-
house down, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
No special stuff.
And I think I just signed this thing, so.
Has everybody met the minutes of the meeting for January 8th? And if so, please, someone make a recommendation, we accept the meeting?
Motion to accept the minutes from January 8th, 2018.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Builder permits and there's no conservation involved on one. And would someone like to make a motion, we adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Where's this correspondence? Meeting's closed, right?